I was just looking at this post right here, and I had a memory. So I want to tell you guys a story. Not really a story, but it's just a memory of mine, so it may not come off entertaining or whatever. But I remember this one Halloween. That's my favorite holiday. I remember, you know, it's my favorite time of the year. I actually have a vlog on this that I haven't released yet, but not on this, but it was around the same time. It was actually the same night. I even filmed going to the club, but I left all of this out, so I'm going to tell you the backstory. I went to a Halloween party with my sister. That night, I'm just going to explain that night, because this is the level of confusion that I'm usually in. Not confusion, but just like sometimes I'll go with the flow, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I take a risk, sometimes it gives me anxiety. It's a lot of stuff that happens. Halloween night, my sister was having a little get together for my children and my nieces, so all the kids could have the candy and do the little projects together. And they did it, and we went over there, and then one of my sisters came over and was like, oh, I'm going to this party tonight, and you know, you should come. And I was just like, yeah. I feel like my sisters know not to invite me places. It's like an unspoken thing. They know I'm not gonna have fun. I could take offense to it and be like, oh, I'm feeling left out, but I don't take offense to it. I choose to take it as they know it's not my scene, because they know me. But it's like, we never said that, but they kind of know it. So anyway, she invited me out. It stressed me out so badly that night because she wouldn't tell me where we were going. And I think she thought that this was going to help me because it would just make me go, you know, without having any excuse not to, which it did. But one thing it also did do was raise my anxiety, because I was like, is this a party? Is this a club party? Is this a house party? As she was putting in the address and stuff and we were getting closer, I realized that it was a house party, which I don't do. I don't do house parties, and I damn sure don't do house parties with people I don't know. I don't think she really knew them. She just met them out. My sister's like that. Like, she'll just meet somebody out and just, oh, we're gonna hang out. I don't know nothing about that life. But anyway, we got there. It was like a bunch of college age, maybe newly college grad, wealthier African. They had good careers. It was an African party, African kickback. And it was slightly under my age group. And the crowd was just like really, I can talk about this now because it's over. It's over. But the crowd was really like, just based upon my first impression, like a little bougie. How are you doing? They wasn't like that, but they was like, so what do you do? They were them type of people. So what do you do? And you know, at the time I wasn't doing shit. I still feel like I ain't doing shit, but I don't really lead with what I do as opposed to who I am. I immediately, now this is one of the first signs that I was worried about my social interactions with people. Like, I've gone through my whole life, and at this time I was probably like 32, 33 or something. So I'm well in age, but it's something that I hadn't been forced outside of my comfort zone in a minute since high school, you know, with certain family functions and stuff, yes, but I mean, like, outside of family, you talking about friends, I had to be forced into this situation. I couldn't get out of the situation because I rode with her. I didn't know where we were going. I was just like winging it. And then when we got there, I immediately shut down. Like, I don't know what this looked like from the outside. I have to ask my sister, but I remember, like, this is just not for me. So we were in like some high-rise apartments, and I got in there and I was like, hello everybody. When I say anxious, I mean anxious. I was worried about myself for a while after this whole situation. Well, I went immediately to the balcony. They had, like, you know, everybody was in the party just drinking and mingling, and they had the back door open. So I went to the balcony and I just sat out there. And I know my sister was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This I feel like she wouldn't say to me, what did I even bring you for? I felt so anxious. And then later my other sister came and I got a little bit more loose. I still didn't get off that wall. I still didn't get off that porch. I remember they came out there and followed me. It was like the girls of the party, like, hey girl. And I was like, hello. I was on some.
Hi. Kiana. Work in the school system. Yeah.
I was so anxious. And yeah, I remember Shamika was like, my sister was like, yeah, we should just go or whatever. And we went to a club afterwards. And that was a little better because it wasn't so much focused attention. But I remember that being one of the most uncomfortable situations in my adulthood, and one of the few times I had no control over who I was going to be with, but it worried me. I remember that interaction worrying me, and I think it worried my sister too. Like, I think she was like, I knew you was a little weird, but this is just unacceptable. And no, it was a good, like, once they started loosening up and dancing, you know, I felt like I was part of the party, even though I wasn't, because I really scaled the wall and I really just watched everything. But later when we went out to the club, I got a little loose. We, you know, danced a little bit. But it's so funny. Oh, I gotta get I will put the clip right here. My sister's obsessed with this clip about this boy dancing at the party. She still sends it, but I don't have the clip. I'm not even gonna try to get that clip. I'm not even gonna try, because I don't want to put nobody on the air. I don't want to be. But no, that was a very that was a situation that had me just like, what is wrong with me? But now we know, Kiana, you're autistic and you have severe social anxiety.